Hi there. So, I'm going to do another little story. Not really a story, it's actually an analogy. So, I told you the 10th man story from Swami Sarvapriyananda. Now I'm going to tell you a story that comes from, that Rupert Spira uses. It's one of his big analogies for what existence is and what we are. I recommend you go and watch his videos. They're much better than mine. But to be honest, I think there's so many now that it might actually be hard to find the analogy. It's such a big, he's used it so many times that he mentions it and everyone in the audience understands what he's talking about. So I'm going to put it forward here so that you can hear it. Now, it's about King Lear and John Smith. And John Smith is an actor, and he plays the role of King Lear. And King Lear has all these problems, and John Smith thinks he's King Lear, so he's all tied up in all these awful problems of King Lear. Real method acting, and and one day somebody says to him, sitting in the park and his friend's there with him on the bench, and says, you do realize that you're not really King Lear. You're actually John Smith. And John Smith has an awakening experience and realizes that he is John Smith, not King Lear. But he still goes to work. He still performs as King Lear. He does it really well. In fact, better, because he can really get into the role without fear of pulling away or rejecting these things that he doesn't want to be happening to him. But he can still, in order to represent the role well, he still puts himself fully into the emotions because he knows he's safe. Now, so that's what's happening here. We are in a role that we're playing, and we've forgotten that we are the ultimate reality. We are the ground of being. We are Brahman. We are the Godhead, not as individual people, because King Lear is also not. He's limited within his world on stage, his role that he plays, and we're the same as that. As people, as individuals, we are just this role that we're playing, and we don't have superpowers. I can't make it rain. I'm not really, James is not God. But we are all God in another way, because what we really are, the subject, the eternal subject, the witness, the observer, the awareness, the consciousness, this is existence itself. We are the dream. We are the reality. And we think that we are the character within the play, with all the problems, and we're afraid, and we don't want these things to happen, or we want to get certain things. And through this self-inquiry, we see that we are in fact the thing that we really are, the thing that looks out through the body, which looks out through the mind, and which looks out through the sense of self. That thing that's behind all of this is the most intimate thing, the most intimate feeling we have, that we've always had. This is our true self. This is what we are, and there's nothing that can touch it. It's beyond everything in the play. It's looking from another point of view. It's like in a dream. And Rupert Spira does give another analogy of a dream. I think he calls it one of the people is Jane. Anyway, I can't remember. But it's another analogy he uses of being in a dream. We are in a dream. But as in a dream, you're not the person in the dream. You're somehow acting through the person in the dream for some reason. There's probably habit or conditioning. There's no reason why in a dream you would put yourself in the person. So you are this person in the dream, and as in our normal world, we think that that person in the dream, he's got a brain in the dream, and that brain in the dream is producing his consciousness, his awareness. But we know that upon waking, that consciousness that he was not created by the brain in the dream. We know that came from the person asleep in bed on another completely different level. Nothing in the dream was him. However, everything in the dream was him. He was the dream itself, or you are the dream itself. Now, so when we discover this, we are liberated, and that's enlightenment. You realize that you're not the separate self, you're not the person with all the problems, you're this eternal principle. Now, there's some interesting things that we can learn from this analogy, by using this analogy, is that King Lear is never enlightened. He always stays as he is. As the actor, the thing that's enlightened was always enlightened. John Smith was always John Smith. He just kind of forgot. He got too into the role of being King Lear. And the enlightenment, there was no change in anything. It's just the identity went from being I am John Smith, I am King Lear, to being I'm John Smith. Now, who did that? It didn't come from anything within King Lear's world. It came from a higher level of the person that you really are, realizing who you really are. So when enlightenment comes, it will not be the person you are getting enlightened. It will be the person you really are, the thing you really are, or the no thing that you really are, will be what realizes what is actually going on and what was always going on. And it will be the same sort of feeling that, yes, I knew this already. Just as with John Smith, I knew this already. And that's what's waiting for us all when we get enlightenment. Who knows? But I think it's probably more of a slow process. Certainly Rupert Spira, he says it's a more understanding, just kind of grows in you that this is the reality, and this is what has happened with me as well. You should always ask questions. You'll have doubts and ask questions. And I had hundreds of questions, and bit by bit all of my questions have been answered, and I just see this as the real reality now. I see very, very much that what is here is me, and I'm definitely not enlightened. I think, every day I just live my normal life as a separate person. But I think maybe there would be an opening, a deepening into the self as you go deeper and understand really what is really going on. Anyway, that's probably a bad place to end it, but I will end it there. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.